Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Resonant Rise 3 with me, Nether Trey. And this is episode 19, which I'm pretty sure I have right this time. Today I just want to do a few convenience of life things. I'm tired of having to make glass all the time. I'm tired of having to mine in the nether for quartz, so I want to get a few things going to help us with these situations. First thing we're going to do is we're going to move all our barrels over here to this wall. And we're going to do it a little differently than I started it here. Let me take down this torch. I don't really think we need that anymore. We'll put that there. Move this guy over here. There's a few things that we're going to want to get done. First of all, to get automated glass going, we're going to need access to cobblestone in our applied energistic system. So far, we don't have that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to move some of these barrels over here. We're going to get some storage buses. And what storage buses allow us to do is treat these barrels as if they were part of the applied energistic system, as if they were storage cells, basically. So we're going to go in here, and we're actually going to make it so that we can automatically make these, because we're going to start using them a lot going forward. So storage buses are made like this. Do we have everything? No, we're going to need a few more things. Sticky piston is made like that. So we're going to want to automate sticky piston. So let's get some more blank patterns. And we're out of something. That should be enough for now, though. So storage bus. Our system should already know how to make interfaces, but it doesn't know how to make sticky pistons. But I don't really want to make sticky pistons with slime balls because we don't have a whole lot of them. You can also use rubber from Mine Factory Reloaded. And we can easily make a rubber tree farm. So we're going to have to do that in the future. But for now, we'll set up that pattern. And that'll get us our sticky pistons. We're also going to need to know how to make regular pistons. So let's go ahead and make one of those and throw it in just so we have it. We're going to want an interface, which we can already auto craft, so we are missing fluix dust. Wow, we are running short on a lot of things. So I'm going to have to run to the nether real quick and grab some more nether quartz, and then we'll make some fluix dust and continue. Alright guys, so I did set up our system to be able to auto craft fluix crystals, so we'll get that going. That'll craft us up a bunch of those. And it does that by dumping the components into our growth acceleration chamber, just like we used to grow the seeds. But we are going to need a whole bunch of fluix dust. We'll take what we have here and we'll let that keep running. And we will continue preparing to craft our storage bus. So in order to make the storage bus, we needed a ME interface. So we'll go ahead and craft up one of those. Ta-da! Come back over here and make the pattern for our storage bus. Cool. Now we can auto craft storage buses. We'll just take this one out. But we're going to need, for now, we're just going to need the one for our cobblestone barrel. smart cables, and we should be able to run them into our ME network right back here somewhere. Let's take our storage bus, slap that guy on there. Now I want to make sure I'm going into a cable where I'm not going to overload my channels, so let's update this one to a smart cable, and that will tell us we are using 3 channels. So we've got plenty of channels right here. We can just run this guy straight down, but we're going to want to move this over. So we'll just go like that. I believe that'll go right there, yep. So that's now using 4 of 8 channels, and that's using 12 of 32. So we're still good there. And we should now have access to all of the cobblestone in our system. Close this wall back up. $19,000 cobblestone, yes. So we do have access to the cobblestone without it actually having to take up space in our storage cells. So now that that's done, we can start auto crafting glass. And the way we're going to do that is with a pulverizer. We're going to need another piston. And that'll get us a pulverizer. We're going to go down to our auto crafting room. We're also going to need any level emitter, and I think we're actually going to teach our system how to craft those. Just like that, and then we'll pull one out. We're going to take our pulverizer and we're going to add it to this lineup. So right now we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels, which means we should still have 2 channels over here to use. I'm going to put our pulverizer is going to need power too. So let's see. The pulverizer is going to go right here, except it's backwards now. So we're going to want to set this up so that it outputs from the back and inputs from the top. Yes, because I actually think we're not going to use an interface because we're just going to want to have a certain amount of glass in our system at all times. So we're not going to do it the auto crafting way. What we are going to do is use a level emitter with an export bus. So an export bus is another bus that we are going to teach our system how to craft. We're going to need another piston. So now our system will always know how to make export buses. And I dropped it. Did I drop it? Oop, there it is. So we'll craft up an export bus. We're going to slap that right there with a, and we'll just use a regular ME cable like that. We're going to need a piece of cobblestone. So that this knows that it's supposed to output cobblestone into here. And it is just like that. We're also going to need to give this guy power. How do we want to do that? Well, we want the glass to come, or we want the, wait, we're also going to need a furnace to change the sand into glass. We're going to do a redstone furnace. There we go. I don't think we have any bricks. What are we missing? We need one of these. Yeah, so we're going to need to craft up some bricks. Do we have any clay in our system? Oh yeah, lots of clay in our system. We're also going to need to eat again. Oops, over to the furnace. While that's going on, we'll go over and dump off some of this stuff that we don't need. We don't need these. We'll put this in here, these in here. While we're up here, we can also change this storage bus so that it is a higher priority than our ME system, so that it will always store the cobblestone that it receives inside that barrel first. So now what it should do is go to that barrel first and then to the trash can. Take the rest of our fluix dust, our bricks. And then we'll continue with our redstone furnace. There we go. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and this will be the 8th machine. Now we're also going to want sand in our system, so I don't necessarily want to do that. So this is going to be producing sand for us. But what I want to do is export the sand into our ME system. So we'll just stick a conduit on here and let that go right in with everything else. Make sure this is set to extract, always active. And then we're going to stick our furnace right beside that. We are going to need another cable, and we're going to need another export bus. Actually, we might be able to save a channel. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're actually out of channels because we're going to have to use our ME level emitter underneath. So that'll be 6 channels plus 7, and the ME level emitter is 8, which means I'm going to have to upgrade this to dense cables. So give me just a minute to do that, and then we'll be back. Alright guys, so I've upgraded all these to dense cables. Now we're also going to need to get some power into these machines, so I'm going to do that through a P2P tunnel, just like we did last episode, which means we're going to need these cables. Oops, can't shift while doing that. This one can go here, this one can go here. We need another item conduit, like that. Make sure that one's set to extract, always active. And on the bottom, how do we want to do this? I'm actually thinking if I set this up to export, no, we only want to export red. If I set it to export out of the back and the side, it should split it between going into the enemy system and going into the redstone furnace. But I don't think that's how I want it to be set up. I want our system to fill up with sand and then take from the sand for glass. So let's do another export bus. It's not like we're hurting for channels. So I'm going to take our P2P tunnel, which, by the way, P2P tunnels don't play nice with dense cables, so we may need to run a smart cable off of this, then to a P2P tunnel, which we have to change its type first. So now it's an RF P2P tunnel. We're going to take it back down off of there. Let's put it right here on top of this, and then we will run the energy conduit. Actually, yeah, then we'll run the energy conduit here and there, and that should give our machines power. Oh, we also have to use our memory card to load the settings. Boom. Settings loaded, power on our conduit, our machines have power. This is starting to grind up the cobblestone. Now cobblestone will produce two things. It'll produce sand and it will produce gravel. Now we don't really want the gravel. Is it sending any of the sand into here? Probably because we don't have these set up right. So this should be in, that should be out. Are we getting any sand in? Yes. So it's probably splitting it between the two. So now what I want to do is underneath, I'm going to put another smart cable. And on top of the smart cable, I'm going to put a level emitter, which I just placed down there. Just like that. And we are going to tell our system to emit a redstone signal when we have more than 1,000 sand, which should mean that it will keep grinding up cobblestone until we have 1,000 sand in our system. Then it'll emit a redstone signal, and we'll set this so that it only works when it doesn't have a redstone signal. Then we are going to take our other export bus. Yeah, we're going to have to change this a little bit, so we'll do it like this. Close off this. We do want that to be the output. We do not want output going directly into the furnace because we want it to keep track of how much we have in our system. So we'll do an output here. We'll say sand. That should fill our furnace up with sand. We're going to need another level emitter. We're missing one redstone torch, so we're going to have to teach our system how to make redstone torches. So level emitter, craft up one of those. We're going to need a piece of glass. Oh, we got a bunch of glass actually. Move this cable over here. Put a level emitter there. Tell it to watch for glass more than 1,000. Emit when levels are above 1,000. So if we have more than 1,000 glass, this will shut off. And we should still be good on channels. We're using 11 channels. We're not bottlenecked anywhere. Nope, we're good there. So then the only other thing we're going to want to do is actually upgrade these so they process a little faster. We're also going to need to deal with this gravel. And the way I'm going to do that is by looking at my augment selection. Now under augments we have a nullification chamber and it destroys excess secondary outputs. So basically it'll let that machine fill up to 64 gravel and then it'll destroy any more gravel that comes in. So we're going to need a bucket of lava to get that going. Luckily we still have unlimited lava. Right here. That'll make our nullification chamber augment. Now, this is only a first tier pulverizer, so we're actually going to have to upgrade this guy because it doesn't have any room for augments right now. So we'll throw that in here. Electrum gear. There's our hardened pulverizer. We might need some signalum, actually. Yes, we have no signalum. So how do we make signalum? I know it's like copper and silver. Yes, 3 copper, 1 silver, 10 redstone makes 4, which is exactly what we need. So 1, 2, 3 copper, 1 silver, and 10 redstone. That'll cook that up. Let's go dump some of this junk out of our inventory. We could tell our system to just take in the gravel, put it in the barrel, but I don't really know what we do with it. Maybe at some point I'll switch that around, but for now, it's fine the way it is. Let's check on our signalum. Oh, I flew right over the pressure plate. Got our signalum. Alright, we can get back to upgrading our pulverizer. Be a second tier pulverizer, and then for the third tier we're going to need Enderium, which we do not have. Do we still have any Enderium base? Yeah, we have enough. So we're going to need 4 of those. 4 ender pearls and 2 pyrrhodium. At At some point we will automate all these alloys as well, so we don't have to craft them all the time. We'll have it set up so that it will keep a certain amount of each on hand at a time, especially Enderium, because Enderium is starting to become more and more important. So there's our signalum for the furnace. Here's our Enderium for the pulverizer. And we have our resonant pulverizer. While we're at it, we might as well make 2 speed augments. So we'll do 2 of these. So now we should be able to just throw that in and it will destroy the excess gravel. Actually, we're going to need some more speed upgrades for our export bus. So those are actually called acceleration cards. And we don't have any more cards. These actually use diamonds. And I think calculation processors. So we'll just make a handful of those. Like that. And then our acceleration cards. That can actually take 4. That immediately filled it up. That might even be too many. We might not need that many. Might not even need that many. Yeah, so 2 looks like it's enough to keep up with it. So then we'll throw some in here as well. It can only put sand in as fast as we're producing it, which is why it's not immediately filling up. We're also going to want to do a sand barrel. In which case we probably don't need this level emitter. We'll decide later. But for now, we have automated glass. Now I do want to upgrade this bad boy real quick. We'll fly back upstairs. So we'll take our furnace, throw it in here along with our Enderium, and we'll do redstone furnace. Another electrum gear. Another signalum gear. Oops. Another Enderium gear. And that should get us our resonant furnace. Now for this one we're going to want the speed up augments as well. So we already have a first tier 1 laying around for some reason. Let's make a second tier 1. We'll make the third one too. Throw this guy right here. And 1, 2, 3 augments. And that'll make us glass really fast. It looks like 2 export or acceleration cards in our export bus is enough to keep up with the sand. Cool, we have automated glass. Now that's going to be really handy for when I am expanding on these tubes that are going up through the base for our cables, because I use a lot of glass with these builds, as you can plainly see. And we're also going to need it for when we automate quartz, because I'm tired of going to the Nether every time I need quartz, as you saw at the beginning of the episode. So that's going to be our quality of life episode for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to see more, please subscribe and give me a like, and we'll see you next time.